It's the holiday season, and of course that means badly cut printer paper, snowflakes, awkward family reunions, and of course, Snowflake Ritz, the best holiday meal, footage of which I don't actually have because I already ate all mine. But it's also a time to look back on all the things that have happened in the past year. For most people, these would be things like important life events, unless you're me and that it's all the Switch games you played. I have problems. But either way, every holiday season sees a lot happening in the general realm of gaming. The Game Awards happens in early December, a bunch of titles get released for the gift-giving season, and many people buy or receive their own console. Now, the Nintendo Switch has seen massive amounts of success in its first couple years on the market, which to someone like me who's a fan of their stuff is an incredibly awesome thing to see. And because most people will be receiving their Switch for the first time in the next couple days, here are 5 games that I highly recommend to make your first experiences with the console the best they can be. That entire paragraph sounded like a poem, but I'm going with it. Most likely, you've already heard about this game. When it launched on the eShop earlier this year, Celeste turned a lot of heads. Its beautifully crafted pixel art style paired with challenging platforming elements created a truly unique experience. This is a game that expects you to fail. Many times. But in this case, failing is actually a good thing. Each time you fail, you learn something. You get further in a level, you figure out a puzzle, you advance. Considering the notion that games usually punish you for messing up, the fact that it's imperative to Celeste is actually kinda genius. So the fact that it was critically acclaimed makes total sense, and it's well deserved. Celeste may seem simple enough on the surface, but all of the levels are challenging in their own right, and if you can beat the final part of the story, please tell me how because I'm not a good enough gamer to do that. Overall, with a deep story, likable characters, beautiful worlds, and strong gameplay, Celeste deserves its spot on this list. It's crazy to think that Mario Kart 8 Deluxe is on its way to being 2 years old already, but even after all of the games that have come out on the Switch, this is still one of the best ones. Mario Kart always has the unique knack for being the game that anybody can play. Even since the early days of the series, Mario Kart's combination of iconic characters and items that'll make the game fun for everyone, except for the guy in first, have made it an icon on all of Nintendo's consoles. And this is definitely my favorite iteration. 8 Deluxe is like the Smash Bros. Ultimate of Mario Kart. With 42 characters spanning many of Nintendo's IPs, it's great to have a lot of variety when it comes to how you set up your gameplay experience. The same goes for the customizable cars, tires, and gliders, which are another good way to strategize and find what works best for you. The game also looks amazing. Now, full HD makes everything look amazing, but Nintendo did an especially good job of conforming tracks from all different kinds of games to the quirky Mario Kart style. It's a lot of fun to see both the new and remastered levels looking amazing, and even though I don't play this game incredibly often, I enjoy seeing the amazing scenes every time I log in. Pair that with a thriving online community and a great local multiplayer mode, and you've got a wonderful party game that's sure to never cause any feuds ever. Up until early this year, I hadn't shown a lot of interest in fighting games, but Super Smash Bros. Is just in a league of its own. It's crazy to see a community that is this involved in a game 20 years after its initial launch, but at the same time, it's just really cool. While I wasn't one to jump on the hype train for Ultimate prior to its release, I can't deny how fun this game is to play. I have some memories with Brawl, although I don't own it, and I put a lot of time into the Wii U version, but Ultimate brings together all of the best things about Smash Bros. In an incredibly polished game. Between World of Light and Classic Mode, there's plenty to do in terms of single-player campaigns, and if you're a fan of collecting stuff, then this game definitely caters to that. But if you're like me and mainly enjoy the standard arcade-style mode, then that's great too. It's incredibly customizable, and with lots of characters to unlock paired with so many stages, it provides a great experience that'll keep me playing for a long time to come. There's something incredibly interesting about how Rocket League works, and it's the fact that as you get better in the game, it becomes more and more noticeable. Rocket League seems like such a simple concept on the surface, use your car to hit the ball into the goal, but there's so much technique to learn that as you start to get better at it, it's really satisfying. When I first started playing the game, hitting the ball was a challenge in and of itself, but that's okay, I had the same problem playing soccer in real life anyway. But eventually I was able to level up and I learned a lot of different things about the game, and the gameplay that I have logged from 8 or 10 months ago on my computer is completely different from how I play now. Plus, the community for the game is always thriving. As an esport, Rocket League is massive. Championships and tournaments, some run and others sponsored by Psyonix themselves, allow players to improve their skill and get to know each other through their quirky game. Even for those who aren't tournament competitors, getting into a standard online game is really easy. I rarely have to wait long to get into a game, and the amount of different modes Rocket League offers makes every match unique and helps me to learn new techniques and improve. It's a great thing to be able to look back and see how much you've gotten better at something, and I love how Rocket League helps players to see that. Charm is one of Nintendo's strong suits, and it's games like Splatoon that bring out the best of their creativity. For all intents and purposes, Splatoon is a paintball-esque game where 8 players, randomly matched up from around the world, battle to see who can cover the most ground with their color paint in 3 minutes. It seems like a simple concept, but you'll likely find that after a few hours of playing, you start to develop your own strategies, weapon sets, etc. There's a lot of variety and customization, and when you pair that with several different game modes, you got a title that can last players a long while. Now, I'm not going to sugarcoat this. Splatoon 2 is a weird game, but I am a weird person, so I wasn't really fazed much by it. However, in a time of gritty action shooters being kind of the standard, Squid Kids playing paintball seems like the kind of idea you'd have sitting half asleep at your desk while drilling on a notebook. But alas, Nintendo sprinkled their magic fairy dust on it, and it's one of the best games on the Switch to date, particularly because of its online base. There's just something special about online multiplayer games. It's cool to connect and have matches against people from all over the world, and however quirky Splatoon's concept is, it's managed to bring so many people together since its release last year. I've personally met a lot of awesome people through this game, and I will always appreciate it for that. After the whole Wii U situation that no one really wants to talk about anymore, the Switch has proven itself to be a fierce competitor in the console war. But as with any game library, filing through thousands of different titles trying to figure out which ones are the best can be a pretty daunting task. Luckily, many indie creators and even Nintendo themselves have made some amazing releases to bring joy to Switch owners this holiday season.